So this lesson is going to be covering how to read the wind and the best indicators to use. The objective for this lesson is to be able to consistently determine the wind direction by observing indicators. The first thing I would like you guys to do is each take a marker and write down a couple wind indicators on this paper. Try not to look at the other people's lists, and after you finish, we will compare them, and yeah.
Like them back?
Sure. Yeah. All right. The first one is feeling on skin, flags, observing other boats, and waves. The second one is flags, feeling it on skin, and observing other sailboats. And third list is flags, the feeling on skin, and trees. You guys put in your lists were the feeling on your skin, flags, and observing other sailboats. The best way that you could possibly determine the way the wind is traveling is by observing a flag, because when you're out in the middle of the water, they're easy to spot and it's easy to determine what way the wind is actually going. That's not the same for trees, because if you're far away, you can't actually see the way the leaves are moving, and therefore, if you're in the middle of a lake, it doesn't really work out so well. Waves, that you cannot use waves to determine the wind direction, because if the wind shifts, then the waves are still going the same direction that they were with the original wind. And also they can be manipulated by power boats passing by and any boat in general. And feeling on skin, if you lick your finger and you stick it up in the air, it's not going to work so well because of the way the wind is traveling over your sail. And observing other boats, that can work if you see how the boat is tacking and when their sails start to luff. But the best way that you could determine the wind direction is by using a flag. Do is one of you to come up and take this marker and circle the wind indicators that are in this photo. Come on up. There you go. You circled the waves, the flags, and the trees. But two other ways that you can determine the way the wind is flowing is by observing grass or any plant life if you're really close to the shore, and by using low-hanging clouds. The best way, as I discussed earlier, is by looking at flags. And the way to do so is if the flag is like this, for example, and if the flag is coming towards me, that means the wind is traveling along with it. So that means if I was standing here, the wind would be flowing towards me. And so as we discussed earlier, waves are unreliable, and trees you can't really see because you would have to be really close to the shore. And that's the same with grass and plant life. But those two things are still reliable, but it's just hard to see when you're not in the right positioning. And so flags would be the best option of determining which way the wind is flowing. If you're sailing on a small body of water, there is a very high chance that there's at least going to be one or two flags around you, and it's going to be very easy to determine what way the wind is flowing. That would be different if you were in the middle of Lake Ontario, but you'd probably have some wind direction device that would sort of tell you which way, and you wouldn't have to look around you in the environment. So right now we're all going to go outside and we're going to find different wind indicators and determine which way the wind is traveling by how those indicators are reacting. So just in summary, when you're out on the water, a flag is the best way that you can determine which way the wind is flowing. And the objective of this lesson is to be able to consistently determine which way the wind is flowing by observing indicators.